Hello and welcome to CATSweek. I'm Martin O'Neill. The Ellettsville Town Council continued its discussion on rezoning a section of State Road 46 at the July 26 meeting. Representative of the petitioner, Lynn Coyne, discussed the decision to request a rezoning from commercial free zone to a planning unit development. He said the C3 zone required the petitioner to build more parking spots than they wanted.
There were, as Katie outlined for you, changes to what a C3 would require us to do that we don't want to do. So we came as a PUD to reduce those requirements. We talk about a little bit of a down zone sort of to this area.
Resident Tyrone Cooper focused on the safety issues connected to the additional traffic produced by this apartment complex. He said connected neighborhoods have roads without sidewalks and are already unsafe.
So I live on Deer Park Drive, right at the top of that hill. We've been blessed to have kids playing on that street, that very steep hill there. People walking, jogging on that street. If the proposed traffic is to come on that side of the town, if you would, that could very well be dangerous. And so I think we should really think about the human aspect of this project.
Coyne pointed out that the proposed site plan would reduce traffic from what is allowed to be built on a C3 zone by 70%. Councilmember William Ellis said the area should never have been zoned C3 in the first place. He added he would be voting against the rezone because, in his opinion, Ellettsville is a town centered around single-family homes.
Ellettsville was built on single-family dwellings. We don't have a bunch of apartment complex. And you leave the dance with the girl that you brought. You do not switch midfield to say, let's hope this will be growth. So I will be a definitive no on this because the public and the people around there, they're Ellettsville. And I'm not going to take a risk on what it brings in.
Councilmember Trevor Sager recognized that Councilmember Dan Swafford was absent. He moved to table the discussion until all 5 members were present. The motion was approved 3-1, with William Ellis dissenting. At their July 27 work session, the Monroe County Council discussed the fiscal impacts of Bloomington's annexation plans. Representatives from the advisory firm Baker Tilly presented the result of their independent analysis on the proposed annexations. Baker Tilly partner Dean Rogers introduced a tool that allows residents to calculate their own estimated tax impact. He said the tool uses more recent tax information, whereas the city's annexation documents use information from 2019.
One is some of the information included in the fiscal plan is a little bit dated at this point. So it's using 2019 assessed value information for taxes payable in 2020. And we wanted to give kind of a more fresh look at that and base that off of 20 assessed value for taxes payable in 2021. So, by doing that, we're capturing a lot of changes.
Baker Tilly partner Paige Sanson identified some variance between Baker Tilly's analysis and Bloomington's official report. However, she said the assumptions the city made for its report were overall reasonable.
Yes, there were some inconsistencies. Yes, there were some formula issues, perhaps. But as far as big variances, again, I would say mostly in the local income tax. The assumptions used in the report, by and large, were pretty reasonable.
The full report can be found on Monroe County's website at co.monroe.in.us under recent news. And we'll have more from CATSweek right after this.
For hurting families in Monroe County.
A contribution to children who are vulnerable and in need of an advocate.
A staff that goes above and beyond to support and advocate for children in need of services.
The web of remarkable people who are dealing with difficult situations.
So many young people that are in need of help and trying to find a stable family, a stable place to live. Without the CASAs to make that happen, many of them would be unable to find a good home.
I love being that voice for the child who can't speak for themselves in court.
It takes me out of my comfort zone, and it also helps others
CASA means supporting our community.
Being a CASA is making sure that your village is healthy and whole, and that the children in your village will someday be able to help the village as well.
A child who doesn't have a voice, maybe in their family situation or a school situation, now has a voice that can advocate for them.
I really enjoy working with children that are going through difficult times and letting them know that I care about their future.
We are privileged with our charge of representing the best interest of children. And so therefore we can advocate for exactly what they need without restriction, focusing on their best interest.
I want to repair the world one child at a time.
Welcome back to CATSweek. The Bloomington Board of Parks Commissioners discussed hiring security at their July 27th meeting. Parks and Recreation's Operations and Development Director Tim Street presented an amended contract with Marthal Security that would hire additional guards on top of the overnight security for Switchyard Park. He said unarmed officers would patrol the Beeline Trail and Bloomington Parks in 2 shifts throughout the day.
They would be unarmed officers. They would act out by going out on patrol through these park areas, looking for safety issues, things like that. They use a QR code system to check in at different locations. So far, this has been very successful at Switchyard Park. We're very pleased with the job that's been done there and the reports that are generated that show not only security issues, but also other issues we may have been unaware of going on in the night sometimes, even lights being out, things like that.
Commissioner Jim Whitlatch suggested that park commissioners encourage the Bloomington Police Department to patrol city parks more. Commissioner Kathleen Mills said hiring security was an extraordinary step for the Parks Department. She suggested that this was the best possible temporary solution.
I would just, I think, underscore too that this is what Parks is doing for now to try to deal with some of these issues. This is not saying this is the solution forever. Perhaps that substation in Switchyard Park will be staffed by BPD at some point. Perhaps just having the security there will cut down on some of the vandalism and behaviors going forward. But this does seem to be the best possible solution for the kind of situations and incidents that are coming up pretty regularly in the parks.
The park commissioners approved the addendum unanimously. The Monroe County Community School Board discussed its re-entry policies at their July 27th meeting. Board President Kathy Fuentes-Rohrer introduced adjustments to COVID-19 protocols for the upcoming 2021 to 2022 school year. MCCSC's COVID-19 policies include a mask mandate for all students and unvaccinated staff members. Board member April Hennessy asked Superintendent Dr. Jeff Huiswald where the information could be found publicly.
I do have a question. Sure. Will we be circulating this information so that the public understands or can see what it is?
That's a very good question. Upon approval, we will post the adjustments on the website as well as a summary of those adjustments. Those will go on the website immediately. We will also be pushing out on social media and through our communication channels, a summary of those as well, so that our families and parents, community members know what the changes were in a rapid manner.
Board member Elizabeth Rue asked if parents could change their child's enrollment status in reaction to changing CDC guidelines. Dr. Huiswald said they could by contacting the MCCSC directly.
So on our website, through the registration, there's a phone number and details, and they can just simply reach out to anyone at our office and we'll get them to the right place.
Thank you so much.
The policy was approved unanimously. The Monroe County Commissioners hosted a public meeting to discuss the impact of annexation on Monroe County with advisory firm Baker Tilly. Resident Tim Shelton asked why the report did not analyze the impact on Monroe County's TIFs. Baker Tilly partners Paige Sanson clarified that Baker Tilly only analyzed the City of Bloomington fiscal report. She said they could not analyze the TIF impact because the city's report did not give enough information to do so.
We did not analyze the TIF because there was not enough detail in the fiscal plan to analyze how that number was arrived at. And we've footnoted that in our report. So again, I just want to make the clarification. We did not prepare an annexation fiscal plan. We analyzed a fiscal plan that was already prepared. So we did not have enough detail to analyze the calculations behind the stormwater revenues or the TIF revenues.
County Attorney Jeff Cockrell talked about the remonstration process. He pointed out that a remonstration, which is an official objection, cannot legally be issued until the City Council passes the ordinance that states what areas will be annexed.
The auditor's office is the primary person in the county who is part of that remonstration process. She cannot, and she has to certify that she has not issued any of the petitions for remonstration prior to the ordinance's approval and by the city legislative body, and that the notice for that has been properly noticed. So people who want to remonstrate, we get the calls, but we're not allowed to issue that until after the city council has actually made a decision of where they're going to annex and they've properly noticed, or we would be in violation of state code.
Cockrell added that each annexation area would need to be remonstrated separately. The next public county meeting on annexation will be on August 1st. And we'll have more from CATSweek right after this.
I'm at risk of thinking there's just no point in trying.
I'm at risk of looking in the mirror and hating what I see.
I'm at risk of regretting what I do, just to join the crowd.
I'm at risk of being told not to tell. And you would never know it by looking at me.
But with Girls Inc. in my corner,
there for me every day,
believing in me,
showing me what's possible,
I can be strong enough to respect myself and my body.
To say I can rather than I can't.
To say no with no apology.
To be a leader.
To finish school.
To own my future.
To break the cycle.
Girls Inc. believes every girl can succeed. That's why the trained professionals of Girls Inc. are there for our girls every day, supporting, mentoring, and guiding them in a safe, girls-only environment. Building bonds that last for years and change that lasts a lifetime. Girls Inc. gives girls the tools they need to boldly face challenges, to resist peer pressure, to be the first in their families to go to college, to beat the odds. With Girls Inc. in her corner, every girl can be healthy, confident, and resilient. She'll do more than dream about her potential. She'll reach it.
With you in my corner.
With you in my corner,
I will not be another statistic.
I will fight for myself.
For my future.
With you in my corner, I will win.
Fuel her fire and she will change the world. Girls Inc. Inspiring all girls to be strong, smart, and bold.
Welcome back to CATSweek. County Highway Director Lisa Ridge presented an amended contract for work on Hunters Creek Road to the Monroe County Commissioners. At the July 28th meeting, Ridge said the amendment includes additional utility costs with East Lawrence Water Authority. She clarified that the Indiana Department of Transportation added the amount to their project cost and that commissioners needed to update their contract to match.
And NDOT has included this full amount into their construction cost for the project. So that's why we are amending the NDOT LPA contract to include these additional costs for the utility relocations.
Commissioner Penny Githens expressed gratitude that the project was coming along quickly. Commissioner Julie Thomas agreed.
Yeah, we're happy that this project is moving forward quickly.
Yeah,
And I would say that is the good news here for sure, and that NDOT's covering it, which is even better.
The commissioners approved the amendment unanimously. And that's all for CATSweek. Thanks for joining us. For CATS and WFHB, I'm Martin O'Neill.